Champions, welcome. The squares have aligned and bingo is nigh. It's time for Elden Squares Season 3. Everyone make sure to get in your corn on this exciting match, and these two teams are just itching to get after it as they're already battling in Clash Royale before the game has even started. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, we have the Tower Princesses. This team is named after a Clash Royale clan, and they are absolute monsters on the Clash Royale streets and the bingo board as well. Their primary DLC player is one of the most well-rounded players in the entire league. Strategy, execution, boss killing, whatever you need, he has it. He is a randomizer racing champion, and he will reward himself with a singular Skittle for every boss that he kills. It is none other than Mr. Skittles and his teammate, the clan leader of the Tower Princesses and one half of the Tower Princess Bingo Squad. He is the fastest man on the 25 squares. It is none other than Nexus, the Uncapped, and their opponents fighting out of the blue corner. Their primary DLC player is currently in a heated battle. It looks like he is applying pressure to Nexus's bomb tower or something. I don't know this game. Fireball comes out. Ooh, I think that was good. Maybe, I don't know. This man has crippling ADHD and cannot sit still for more than 3 minutes. That is why he is playing a Clash Royale game. It is none other than Lemon, the Spectator, and his teammate fighting out of the blue corner. This man is the polar opposite. He has the patience of a saint and will always perfectly calculate his opportunity to strike like a viper. He is one of the best hitless runners in the world and the champion of the Elden Squares Crucible. It is none other than Cronies, Mr. Hitless. Now let's get ready to run that board and square off. But we cannot square off until this Clash Royale game is ended. There are 17 seconds left. It looks like the game is going to be going into overtime very soon.
I don't know who's winning.
I don't know who's winning either. Nexus has destroyed. I believe one of the towers is down for Lemon. One of the towers is down for Lemon. I repeat, Lemon has lost a tower. I did not realize it.
Lemon lost 2 towers?
One tower is down. Nexus does pull it out. Congratulations to Nexus getting the 1 crown to 0 victory. Big win there for Nexus. Can he hold it over in?
One of the towers is down.
We're just gonna play bingo here, folks. We're just gonna play some bingo here, folks. No, we're not doing a best of 3. We're not doing a best of 3. My God. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Harv center square.
Center square is gonna be Haligtree.
Melania until it appears. I'm sure the viewer count dropped. I'm sure it did. Ritual Pots is the center square on the board here. Pretty balanced board with base game and DLC. Just taking a look at it here. We'll count the DLC squares first. We have Death Knight and Rolana in the top row. We also have Melania, Goddess of Rock. Cronies has been begging for a Melania kill, so he will get it. Red Bear and Rao base. That could be a quick rush for the DLC players here, especially weapon dependent. We've seen that done +9 many a time. Tree Spirit and Bellarat there also in that other row. So we got 4 DLC squares at the top and then another 6 at the bottom with Logre and Magnus, the Beast Claw, Magnus and Logre, the Menaces, Romina, Saint of the Bud, Hippos, Bale, the Dread, Furnace Golem, and Ensis Troll Knight in Bulls. So about 10 DLC squares on this board in total. And also we have some interesting rush square ideas, right? We have the big kills on here later in the base game with Melania and Malekith. And then in terms of the rush squares, Blood Tax is a very popular rush square. It just gets you a ton of map progression while going for a square. It's a very, very powerful square, one that Nexus loves, and he will probably be rushing towards. We also have that Sleeping Golem in Lanedale. Doesn't get you a lot of map progression, but is a very quick, easy square to go for. Remembrance Boss daggers are fists only. I do know that there are multiple daggers actually in starting classes, including, I think I saw the Sinkadea, the Bloodstained dagger, and I think I may have Crystal
also was
Knife,
there.
yeah. You got Bloodstained Dagger would be the best option because of that natural bleed, but you have plenty of options there. So we could see Remembrance Boss Dagger's Fist only rush here. I think this will be a pretty interesting early mid game with a lot of these big kills at the end. Melania, Romina, Malekith, Bale, right? I would imagine those are kind of what it comes down to late. But overall, I think a pretty interesting board. I'm glad to see Melania here because Cronies and Nexus, two Melania, both love Melania. Cronies more in the hitless fashion and Nexus more in the aura farming fashion. But we will see who ends up claiming that square here. Harv, what are some of your thoughts on the board as I'm struggling with hiccups?
What I'm seeing right now is, yes, we're gonna have a rush probably to the DLC, and I think Cronies or Nexus are gonna be going for that dagger fist only square because they're both going with the bloodstain. When we get into the DLC, we're probably gonna see a red bear rush depending on how Renala goes. Renala is the one that dictates what's gonna happen in the DLC. If you're gonna be late, if you're gonna be early, we don't know what's gonna happen because it's gonna be kind of a throw. It's gonna be kind of like a toss up, but I do see Red Bear being a race. I do like Lemon taking the double status instead of the Iron Greatsword. Iron Greatsword is one of the best greatswords in the game when it comes to smithing one because it's got one of the highest ARs in the game. But I do like the double status. Oh no, they're both going Iron Greatsword.
Yeah,
Never mind.
what was the double status weapon? I didn't even see it.
It was Spiked Club.
Spike Club performed really well yesterday for Sirius, but Iron Greatsword is just, it's hard to turn down Iron Greatsword.
It is, because you get the wild strikes, you get the cold. It's got really, like I said, it's got really high AR, and you don't really need many stats to wield it. So like, it's a win-win honestly when it comes to this weapon. So yeah, this all kind of comes down to how Renala goes, because if Renala goes well for a player, they're probably gonna be Red Bear point faster. Now it all depends if they want to do it +9 or if they want to go for the +25 before they go fight. They'll probably do it +9 most likely.
Yeah, and you say that that Iron Greatsword is a win-win type of weapon. Will it be a win-win type of game? We already saw the Tower Princesses draw first blood here as they won the Clash Royale match beforehand, but will they win the bingo game? That is to be decided. Lemon and Cronies here again looking to secure the #1 overall seed. Meanwhile, Asim and Nexus, this game does not impact their playoff lives, but if they do win the final game of the season where everything is on the line, they will it will help out their seeding. And also, I think the biggest thing for them more than anything is just getting a win over the #1 team in the league. Just vibes would have to be immaculate going into that final game.
No, this is gonna be like a good game for them to get a win, kind of get that confidence for the last game. I know these guys usually go from game to game. They don't really like. I know when it comes to Nexus and ASOM, I feel like they're one of the players that they don't really think about their last games. They just go to the next one, kind of clear mind. But it'd be nice to get a win under their belt before they get into the game that pretty much decides their fate for this entire season.
Yeah, right. Like in because there's no higher way, like no better way to get in than beating the #1 team in the league. And actually, we do see Nexus here is Cronies is not actually going for Dagger Fist only. Nexus is just hard rushing it here. So Nexus skipped everything. Didn't even I think he maybe got Stormhill Shack, but didn't get the golden seeds because didn't get the smithing ones, right? He's just going hard for this. So we're gonna see one of the earliest fights of this entire season as we were in on Margit just a minute and 15 or so into the game.
Going straight in. I think Cronies maybe is gonna go through and go to Blood Tax for his square, maybe.
Yeah, I think Blood Tax makes a lot of sense. Like, I think knowing that Nexus likes to do, loves these rush squares, right? I guess it's kind of 50-50, right? Like, if you're Cronies, I think you got to be realistic here. Nexus is, you know, the fastest man on the 25 squares for a reason, right? When it comes to these rush squares, there's no one better. So you're kind of just hoping with your Cronies, right? It's like you got to pick one and just hope Nexus picks the opposite, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't like the placement of Blood Tax too much, just to where it is, but at least you'll have Altus access pretty quickly if you're gonna go into Makar, because I just feel like Makar is the way that Crony's gonna go. He just upgraded his weapon. Probably gonna go grab Hoarfrost. Yeah, it looks like he's gonna do that. I'm not the biggest fan of where Fist Dagger is as well. Like it's on a side, not very much.
Well,
like,
you could create some
Diag or
problems
anything.
though. I think because Remembrance Boss Dagger's Fist, you get an early lead on castle bosses, right? Nexus would have the option to go for that, or ASIM could go for that in the DLC, right? But particularly if ASIM wins Red Baron Rao base, right, you already have a potent threat building on that row too, because Lieutenant to the Apostate, Derelict, and Tree Spirit and Bellarat are two kind of not the worst blocks, but just awkward, right? Typically not squares that players love to do, not squares that you see done early, even though they could be done early, right? And if players kind of hold off on those squares that are very doable early, it's more of a sign of just they're slower, don't give the map progression that you would want, and just not a favorite square of the players, right?
Yeah, the Bloodhound Knight one with Latena is only good if Bloodhound Knights or Caves are on the board. And then you're kind of like, okay, yeah, I can make this work. But if you don't have those on the board, then it's tough to justify going for that square pretty quickly.
Yeah, and we
see
will
both DLC players upgrading now at this point.
Yeah, I think one of the keys to the match here, I think, is the early game here for ASIM in particular, right? ASIM, I think, is a very kind of streaky player, is the best way to put it, right? When the vibes are good, he's incredible, right? Like his Bale kill is one of the most impressive Bale kills all season, right? Like when he's fully on, he's absurd. It's just when stuff goes wrong, it can have a tendency to snowball at times, right? So I think the start here is just super important for ASIM, more than as it is always, but just, for him in particular, right? Good start, good vibes, good game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you build off that momentum, right? You build off the bet. Once you get a couple of kills under you, you build off of that and you kind of keep going. You take that kind of momentum and you go take that throughout the game. If you don't have those, then it's tough. And here's Nexus now going in with Godric with his Bloodstained Dagger.
Yeah,
this is the one that has innate bleed, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I will say these players have practiced this. There was a, granted, different setup, but they were speedrun racing Remembrance Boss Dagger's Fist only using Starfist with Bloodflame Blade. Obviously, the very different setup here. But yes, I know that the players had been posting to YouTube their best times as they were trying to race this. Strump, currently the world record holder.
Classic Strump.
Oh, I mean, it's not remotely comparable, but hey, the lines, the running lines, everything is practiced. It's succinct, right? Yeah, I think the Starfist kill was like 430 or something ridiculous. Like, this is not comparable, but
yeah, but I think it's just practicing, like you said, practicing the lines.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the main things.
Because the Stormville run, like doing it optimized it's tricky, right? Even though like we've done it for, I mean, years at this point, right? But it's still tricky, and especially doing it just as fast as possible.
So I have a feeling how this is gonna go when it comes to Nexus is that Nexus is probably gonna go Dectus to get into Altus.
As Nexus does get that down, let's go ahead and bring ASIM and Lemon up here onto the dual screen. They are both rushing the Red Wolf. If anyone is new to this format and doesn't kind of is like, yo, what? I thought these guys were DLC players. Why are they rushing Red Wolf? This format is base game plus DLC with progression. All 4 players start out in the base game in that round table hold. You have unlocked graces pre-Altus. And then once you get Altus access via either Makar, Dectus, or Virgins, you will get post-Altus graces unlocked. Then in order to get into the DLC, you need to kill any 2 Remembrance bosses. Any 2 will do, so you could see Malekith Melania, but Godric Granola is the meta kind of rush if you're just trying to get to the DLC as fast as humanly possible.
Cronies almost went down.
Yep, Cronies did almost go down there, but both Lemon and Asim get through Red Wolf very cleanly. And one final thing to note, again, if you are new to the format, is bingo lines do not win. They are 2 bonus points. Those 2 bonus points, even though they don't literally win, it cannot be stated how valuable those bingo lines are, right? I don't think we've seen a single game in the we have not seen a single game in the Golden Order yet where one team bingos and loses. So bingo lines are incredibly valuable, but they do not auto win.
Yeah, sometimes even we haven't seen them in official games, but in practice games, we've seen people just sack lines just to win a game as well, depending on what's going on and what squares they're at and stuff like that. So there is a lot of potential, a lot of wiggle room with this.
And Lemon is going with the all-out speed strat. It is fastest to kill Red Wolf and then go straight to Renala. It is but we very rarely see this because it is quite risky. Cronies is fighting Macabre. We're gonna go full screen with Lemon here. Yeah, to just elaborate more on why bingo lines don't auto win. They auto win in singles, right? The thing is, in doubles, right, there's still only 5 squares on the line, right? And as a result, you can kind of, it would become a weird game of prepping, right? Where basically teams would try to shadow prep a line, meaning do 80% of a square without marking it and then try to pop the line as fast as humanly possible. It just would not be healthy to a competitive meta game, right? So as a result, that's why bingo lines don't auto win. It's actually the same scoring format. The best comparison that I can give for 2v2 format where players have full access, right? Bingo Brawler Season 5 was very different as the players were region locked, right? But Bingo Brawler Season 3 was a similar format. It was only base game, but somewhat, a lot of differences, but in theory, somewhat similar to this, where all players have access to everything. In that format, it was, the same 2 points bonus for a bingo. In looking at that format as well as others, we talked about various ways of how the bingos impact it, and we kind of just felt like plus 2 points was the best. Anything more would be too much, and it would still incentivize the shadow prepping, which we don't want, right? And anything less would just make the bingo lines irrelevant. So kind of 2 is the sweet spot here. Very nice job by Lemon there. That was risky to go for Renala early, but will save him about 20 seconds according to Helios. Very clean fight.
No, that's good. I like his tech with the moon where you hit once when she comes down from the moon and then you run away. Obviously, that's very, very dangerous because depending on what her next move is, you could get the combo and just die. But that was a very, very clean fight.
Also, Napat, thank you so much for the resub and the constant support. Thank you so much for the 7 months. And again, if anyone does have questions, even if the match is going crazy and we can't get to on commentary, we have a bunch of players in the chat. So, someone will answer you, even if we're not able to on commentary, but we will try our best.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's very, very dangerous. If he gets the wrong RNG, it's not going to be good.
Lemon goes ahead and takes down Margaret there, nice and clean. We'll check in with Asim here as he goes for Godric. It is an offset Godric Renala rush because Lemon went with the more aggressive route, but Lemon is most definitely ahead here.
So it looks like Nexus is going Makar, and that's interesting for him. I wonder why. I guess more stones up there to get his weapon upgraded.
I mean, where else would you go, right?
I was thinking you could do Dactus, but I guess it really...
There's no reason for Dactus, and it's not like he has any progress towards it, right?
True, yeah.
And Cronies here is hard rushing for that blood tax, and he knows he's safe to go for that. I would not be surprised to see an early Melania because Lemon or Nexus and Cronies both love it. Love that fight.
Love fighting that.
Even if it's a bit earlier than would be advised from a tactical standpoint, they want to kill her. They want to kill her.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, even if they lose the game, it will be haha, Cronies, I got Melania.
I do like the blood tax Bailey because there's also a lot of rune pickups here. you can get a good like 75k just being over here, and going up to if you're gonna get the 50k up, I guess it's more like 75k if you're gonna grab the 50k, but like you get like what 35 40k here just doing pickups with blood tax. So it's a good injection of of runes as well up here.
Yeah, 100%. And we'll see. Yeah, Lemon is well ahead actually, because Lemon practices this rush just about as much as well, a lot of other players, he practices it in the most aggressive way possible a lot. Other players, everyone practices it a lot, but I don't think anyone consistently practices just the aggressive routes, and also like has as much tech as Lemon does. Like he knows, exactly what weapons he needs to one cycle, or, when I've seen him in the past by Rotten Winged Sword Insignia to guarantee the one cycle, right? As Cronies does kill that Scarab there and mark blood tax. So there goes first blood for team Budget Hitless, as the game is now tied 1-1. I think, okay, Nexus does pivot out there. It looks like Nexus is going to go for Sleeping Golem. I think he was making progress and then kind of decided like, well, one of two things happened. Either Cronies went hard for blood tax, or I sniped him on it and now can get him on blood tax. But after seeing the blood tax mark, Nexus, finally find the right person, goes for Sleeping Golem and Landell to just get that square on the board and also get the block on the column number 4 there. By the way, for Lemon here, one of the fastest DLC entries we've seen all season, about 14 minutes flat. That was absolutely huge there for Lemon. Asim's doing quite a good job as well so far. Granted, Renala phase 2 is the riskiest part of this rush. We saw yesterday in last game, she was taking bodies. And hopefully he does not hear today for Asim.
So this is kind of a weird area here, because like you don't expect somebody to get into DLC this quickly. I wonder if Asim will hard rush into Red Bear as well.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like Lemon is going for Red Bear at the moment. I think he's getting at least Rolana set up.
Yeah, that was very nice. That was a very nice entry for Asim as well. Like under 15 minutes, right? Going to be basically exactly 15 minutes flat. Yep. We normally like Lemon's time was very close to like the theoretical limit for how fast that can be, which is very hard to do in an actual game with pressure, and it's just one take, right? Like, hats off to Lemon. That was incredibly impressive. Like, I'm not sure what the I'm sure there are faster times that people have done, like, in solo practice or in practice games, but, they probably have a better weapon. I can't imagine much more, like, what is the fastest time ever? Like, possible? 13:30?
Yeah, probably around 13:35, maybe 13:40 would be like the highest. I mean, 13:40 is like kind of what I'm looking at, is what you could probably get. Yeah. So Helio says 13:50 is the fastest that he's gotten. So yeah, I would say about 14:40
with the same weapon. Yeah.
Yeah. It's gotten close to sub 13 or close. But that's you would have to have the world would have to align if you would want to get sub 13, I feel.
And actually, Cronies is going straight for the Latenna. This is somewhat surprising, as this is a square that players don't necessarily love. And it's going to end up being I thought maybe the block for Lemon here on Sleeping Golem was, or block for, it's game 2. How am I already mixing up names? The block for Nexus here on Sleeping Golem was maybe a bit premature, but no. Lemon and Cronies really are looking at this line, column 2, column 4. My God, I'm off my game. So this is going to end up being a really nice block here for Nexus.
No, this is going to be a good block for both of them, because it looks like Asim is going to go for Red Bear. He's going to get his weapon upgrades and go for Red Bear, and that's going to get their line 2 activated to two squares, but then Latenna will block that as well. So preemptively, 2 blocks are going to happen here fairly quickly.
Yeah, and this is, again, going back to what I was talking about earlier, like, this is one of the reasons why big kill lines don't auto win, right? Because you have to be so predictive with your blocks here. These teams are doing a great job being very well predictive of it, but holy shit, this will be the earliest Rolana kill of the season. We got to go full screen with Lemon. I do not believe he's already going for this, but he is. He either only has a +9 or a +12 weapon. I don't even have the damn music prep. I thought he was going to set this up and not just go straight into it. I mean, this is an early rip on Rolana, but incredibly valuable because not only is it a square, but it is his first massive kill of the game, and he's going to get absolutely juiced after this. And then finally, this is a second castle boss. Godric is the first, right? He could go do Leonine to clean that up. He will have plenty of options. He could also sit and hold on the square, but this is immense amount of pressure that Lemon is putting on here. That being said, this fight is rather difficult. I believe only a +9, maybe a +12 weapon in the DLC against Rolana. He's probably about Scadu 6. You do start with +5 Scadu. That is the one benefit you get in this format because, comparative, if you've seen other DLC bingo, right? You have a whole talisman shop and, all this stuff, all this other stuff. So we do give the players the boon of starting with +5 Scadu, but this is pretty brutal.
Yeah, even with Scadu, he's got Scadu 7 right now, but even that with just a +9 weapon. Man,
+9 weapon and +5 flasks and no talismans.
Yeah, and no talisman. He's got one talisman that he bought, which was the negate all kind of elemental damage.
Pearl Drake,
but
yes.
That's really it. Yeah, Pearl Drake talisman.
Yeah, so Lemon here going incredibly aggressive. Meanwhile, Asim is going a lot safer, right? Just going to go upgrade to +25 initially, right? One thing I always think about these very early marks, right? If Lemon is able to pull this off is, I see Helios right now talking like, oh, I think this is maybe a little bit suboptimal, blah, 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 right? And I think there is merit to that due to the fact that this fight is going to be a lot longer because it doesn't have an upgraded weapon and in the long run is probably sacking some time. But that being said, the psychological damage of this, this square does not do slashing or bludgeoning damage. It does psychological damage. Seeing a Rolana mark at 21 minutes is like, damn.
The only thing I'm scared about is the blender move, because that move can be a problem.
Nexus is now going for Magmor Makar in order to get his Altus access, and Cronies is going to Ordina Liturgical Town. He can get some rune pickups here, and also could we see him making progress towards Melania? And I kind of misspoke because he's also grabbing this Grace before going to return Latenna to the Apostate Derelict. If anyone's confused about that square, because it is kind of weird, right? Basically, you just need to get the Latenna summon by killing the Bloodhound Knight in Liurnia, and you need a Haligtree half, and then you just go ahead and return that to the church in the consecrated snowfield.
Really good fight so far from Lemon.
Blender comes out.
There's the blender move.
Hitless. Fucking clean.
Good dodge.
Blender again, though. She's not done. But wait, there's more. And Lemon's got the juice.
Lemon with it. Ooh.
Lemon probably closing in on another stagger here. This should do it. No, actually.
No, one more. Yeah, he kind of lost stagger a little bit.
Oh, he gets clocked there, but survives. God, that's what you have to do, but it's so difficult in the moment, right? When you know you just got clocked and you're absolutely one shot. So many players will just go and panic heal. I do that, right? But you need to really just say, you know what? We just have to dodge the next move and then get to a safe spot to heal. Absolutely beautiful there by Lemon. Great job of keeping his composure there. But the question is, can he close out this fight? Rolana at just about less than 10% health. One more Frost proc, one more Stance Break, any of that would do it, but it will all be for naught if he can't close this out. There is the stagger. Lemon has to dodge all the glint blades.
He gets it.
And I believe that is the kill. Absolutely beautiful by Lemon. What a great kill. And a rather surprising mark there. I saw Lemon's eyes, or Asim's eyes, go big a little bit there. Great job by Lemon there.
This is going to be interesting because I do feel like he knows that was a low weapon level, right? You've got to know that's a low weapon level doing that.
Yeah, like I said, I mean,
so I feel like if I'm Asim, I don't feel too threatened by it, but it is a big kill.
It depends how, like, I think a play like that totally depends on how you feel about it, right? Like, if you are able to quickly realize, like, hey, you know what? Yeah, that's impressive. Hats off to him, but he did it really fast. Like, he clearly has a +9, right? We have plenty of time here. We have plenty of counterplay. That's completely fine, right? Like, if you're able to process that, but that's really hard to do in the moment, especially because Asim had no idea that was coming until he saw the square on the board, and then he's just like, holy shit, right? Obviously, we get to watch the whole fight and everything. So the question is really just like, how does he respond? And it looks like he goes ahead and sets up the pivot. Hippo Grace did take a minute there to think, but decides to go pivot out straight for the Red Bear and Rao base. I gotta say, so far, all the players are filled with, they're running on diesel. They got that high octane fuel, and they're ready to go here today. This is going to be a fast-paced match, and I might lose my voice by the end of this.
Could happen. So it looks like we're going Red Bear for Asim, and then looking at Lemon, he's going to get his weapon upgraded. And I think Lemon could get his weapon upgraded and perhaps get to Hippo. So it might be a Hippo race after this. Now, legit might be the thing that's going to happen after this. Might be a Hippo race.
And I think I see Nexus. Okay, this is an interesting line of play for Nexus. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I normally wouldn't recommend this. I feel like in this format, the isolated kill square, like, you're very incentivized to go for the isolated kill squares, and it looks like he does, but he goes ahead and preps there because there is a good amount of value. You can get both tree bosses and a Liurnia boss there. However, I think most of the time in games, granted there is synergy, right? So it makes it a little bit different, but and that also preps Spirit Caller bosses. That's a great grace to prep, actually. I'll take that back. But continuing on the point that I was making, which does not apply to Nexus at the current moment. So often when I see teams where it's like everyone plays well, no one makes mistakes, what was the difference, right? It's typically like one team got forced into one of those longer counting squares, right? Where it's like, yes, you get each of the individual kills is very quickly, but there's 4, 5, 6 of them, right? That takes a lot of time in the long run.
And a lot of running around and trying to grab those bosses and stuff like that too. So takes a little bit of time for those.
And we're gonna go full screen with Asim here as he is going for the Red Bear and Rao base.
Oh, Asim
gets clocked initially. I'm not gonna read too much into that personally. I feel like we see so often, like, I've seen so many times players get hit on the approach, right? It's pretty difficult approaching this guy for some reason because you got to do the torrent dismount and everything, and you're trying to get as close as possible. Getting hit on the approach, we see a lot. He does get tagged again there, but we see the stagger. Yeah, and his damage is very nice here with that +25 weapon. Lemon goes in upgrades, but he's not going to have +25. He's going to be at +18 here. The other big thing about this Red Bear kill is that he will get a lot of money, right, from it. That might be one of the reasons why he went for this instead of Ancestral Knight and Bulls, right? And with this cash, not only he already has a sizable amount of health, but there is a talisman shop at the Round Table Hold, thanks to our Lord and Savior Bernie Bingo. And you can buy a lot of defensive talismans. Those can help you out for like the Hippo, because that guy's a bastard, right? As well as offensive talismans, including not incredibly juiced, but you have like Rotten Winged and Blue Dancer are the two main offensive, and then defensive you have the +2 variant of every single talisman you could want, Crimson Seed, a lot of nice stuff there. As I was babbling before I even got to see it, but Cronus does take down the Draconic Tree Sentinel there. That is a tree boss for him.
And it looks like Ansis and Bowls is going to happen for Lemon.
We'll go ahead and bring it up to the dual screen here just to put Lemon on there. Asim almost done here with this Red Bear, and boom, there it is. Gotta say thank you guys. Thank you to all of chat for making me put the bingo. I hate the sounds when I'm playing, but they are kind of cool on commentary. I do like that. So thank you guys for making me add those. Yeah, I mean this is a great game. So like all these teams have come to play today. Like this game is gonna either come down to the wire, or it's gonna come down to who makes the crucial mistake first. I think.
I know. Yeah, I think that's how it's gonna go. Because going into going to the capital to do Lord bosses, right? You got a tree boss out of it. You're gonna be doing God bosses as well with
Cronus likes the capital play a lot. I've seen him do it more than a few times. And it looks like Lemon here is actually pushing Liurnia bosses a little bit, because I don't think there's any other reason here.
Well, he's probably gonna do this Liurnia boss into Bulls, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, just a little aggressive, right? Because he very well could get sniped. Actually, but granted, because of the red bear mark, he knows he's good to just greed this Liurnia boss on the way to Bulls. And we need to go to the dual screen here. Asen will move to the top left, as it is time for the 5-time champion, Bulls Carrion Knight. Asen's in some trouble there on the Hippo, but all eyes will be on Lemon as he goes for Bulls. He opens with 2 charge R2s. The champ goes down. Can he recover? Wild Strikes comes out for Lemon, but he's gonna run out of stamina. No, he does get the kill. One of the hardest kills in the entire game. Bulls goes down. What a great job there by Lemon. We'll go back here with Asim. Also, I need to play. I know Asim will appreciate this music. He's requested it many a time. So, Asim, big Pokemon Ben, needs his Pokemon music.
Dubstep?
No, this is a different Pokemon song. This is a different Pokemon song. This music does get kind of hard. I fuck with it.
Is Lemon doing Liurnia bosses?
I think he is
happening right now.
Very nicely done by Asim with the power of pocket monsters. He's able to get through, and now, yeah, Lemon looks like is working on Liurnia bosses here. We'll go back to the more standard affair music. It's a player's first league. I know that he'll appreciate that on the post when he watches the game tape back.
This is kind of crazy that he wants to do this.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he has no interest in getting any further progress in the DLC. I mean, that being said, he's kind of just sacking hippos in Romina, right? Yeah. My big question there, because everything else, that's the only thing you need Shadowkeep access for on this board. The question I just have, of course, is like, if you're sacking that, where's your block on row 4, right? We'll go full screen with Cronies here as he goes for
because
gold
Nexus
free.
is go Malakath.
Yeah, like that's the big question. Where is your row 4 block, right? If you're not going for, if you're gonna sack Shadowkeep, I think that's okay, but you need to have a block on row 4, right?
I think they can have a block on row 4 with Hero Grave. I think Hero Grave's not going to be too bad.
I mean, we could see Nexus though. I would not mind. I think it would be a very good play for them if they told him to like get a Grace closer to Malekith and then go Hero's Grave, right?
Yeah. Is Vike? Oh, you're doing Spirit Color. Okay.
This is very early for Spirit Caller bosses.
Very.
Because they're immune to all status, right? I think it is a very nice positional square for them, though. because it shuts
God
down
boss
the
as well.
it shuts down the it's a god boss, right? Which god boss is on here. I thought it was just, oh, it is. They are on here. Yes,
It is. Yeah.
So you get a god boss, right? Then it also helps build your column 1 while simultaneously shutting down the row 1 and the diagonal, right? So a very positionally valuable square, but really early. Hopefully Nexus does switch his attunement there, as here goes Liurnia bosses there for Lemon.
That's crazy. Lemon got the Liurnia bosses.
Yeah.
I feel like it went up Asa. What are you thinking here? When you see Liurnia bosses taken.
I mean, I think you know that you need to hold on Romana. You need to know that you have a clear lead on these plays that require Shadow Keep, right? You could think about going Hippos potentially to just clear that out. You could go like Tree Spirit and Bellarat. You could go Death Knight. You could go Furnace Golem, or you could just potentially go south, right, to make progress for both Hippos and Bale later on. You have a lot of options there, but I think the biggest mistake would just be pushing Romana at this time, and he does not do so and elects to just push south. South meaning through ADM.
Push south to get Hippos. Yeah, so to get Hippos, and then also Bale on there as well. So it's a good call. So it looks like also Lemon is gonna get his 7s now.
Yeah, so that he already has the 8s. This will get Lemon all the way up to a plus 24. And we need to go full screen with Nexus here. He already killed the Spirit Caller Snail in Liurnia, but he needs to take out the Apostle and the Noble. And I just realized how little health he has. He gets caught there. This is by no means an easy fight. These are very high scaled. Apostle into Noble. He has to kill both. Not easy. And they're immune to all status, right? So he did make the smart play of just taking off the cold attunement here, but so you're down on damage, does not have a lot of health, and these guys are tanky. And there's 2 of them. Tua turned the ball over. And Nexus goes down.
No, Nexus goes down.
And you know what? That is one of the things we said it like about this type of a match, right? Like both these teams are operating at such a high level right now. And these guys are pushing to make these very aggressive plays. And, you know, we said it earlier, right? This could come down to the first team to make a mistake. That is the first major mistake of the game there for Nexus, right? Not to say that is deterministic, right? But just the first chink in the armor that we've seen for one of these two teams, because despite the fact that it's 5-3 right now, both teams are just firing on all cylinders. Yeah.
Big kill by Loretta, not by Loretta, but Cronies with Loretta going down. This is good for ritual pots, Lord bosses. Let's get some setup for those ones at least. So yeah, they're making good progress.
I will say, I feel like the way that Nexus plays the base game is just very different from every other player in this league, right? And that has nothing. Yes. I'm not talking about like skill execution or anything, but you know, just like the decision making squares, right? Like just his decision making is very different from like the standard meta. He's a lot more aggressive early on than most players.
Now Lemon's doing the smart thing of getting Altis now because of Logar Magnus.
Yeah, because Dagger, you're not here, but Lemon has completely sacked Shadow Keep. Like Lemon is just saying screw Shadow Keep, screw Hippos, screw Omina, right? But they need to make sure that they get a block on the row 4 because they have no ability to go for it, and also the column 1 potentially as well. So I think getting Altis access to go Logar Madness makes a lot of sense. And the fact that the matter is that Lemon is really juiced, right? DLC players normally have more juice than their base game counterparts, right? They get higher value kills, more runes. So if you are able to get a player who does some damage in the DLC and then comes back into the base game, right? They do need to catch up on map, but they're just a lot more deadly. They have more damage, more talismans, more levels, everything. Asim gets down ADM there.
Looks like that's one apostle down. Now he's got the noble to take care of.
Yeah. I will say, I think obviously this is a big if, they have to beat Thomas and Yebe still, but if ASIM and Nexus are able to get into the playoffs here, I feel like they're going to be a very dangerous team because, particularly due to the way Nexus plays the base game just in a very non-traditional way, and the talents of those players, like they are a different type of problem to solve, right?
Yeah.
Nexus plays the base game the least meta way, I would say, of any player in the league, right? And that can be very difficult to deal with.
And this is the play that I was talking. This is the thing I was talking about at this before this game even started. That Team Budget Hitless likes to try to make this a base game, right?
Yeah,
they're turning this into a base game. They've got the squares. Like he got the squares that he wanted. He got Rolana, he got Trolls, Ensis, and like the other square. And he's gonna get Logor Magnus. And like after that, do you really need to get anything else? We're gonna see how the game goes, but he's kind of his linchpin is that square, and then that's about it.
Yeah,
so we'll see how that works out for him. But like that's their game plan.
Yeah, I also will say I understand why Nexus went for the Spirit Caller bosses, but this is, in a way, it feels more like a singles play, and let me kind of elaborate on that. In singles, the idea of going for like synergy and stuff is so much more valuable, right? Because the thing is, in doubles, that synergy just can get stolen from you, right? He gets the Spirit Caller bosses, he gets the God bosses, but he already lost out on the Liurnia boss synergy, right? It's just so much easier to lose synergy here. Obviously, it's much easier for me to say, and Nexus is a way better player than me, but I think if you would have gone Hero's Grave before this Spirit Caller Snail, it would have been a much more effective play.
Yeah, because I feel like the Spirit Caller stuff, it just takes a long time. Like this is a long fight. He's died once. He's gonna get a God boss, one God boss out of it, and one square. But yeah, he lost Liurnia because of it, so it is tough.
And part of it too is just playing into the metagame, right? Like the metagame of Spirit Caller is a longer square, right? But that being said, we have a 5-5 game here and still everything to play for. Just, something that I'm noticing, right? As a difference between the players and, especially as we talk about playoffs, right? Because this game is not only just about this game, but really about playoffs, right? For ASIM and Nexus getting that win to help their potential seeding, but also just getting the win to have the vibes high up until the game of their lives up against Thomas and Yebe in the final match of the season. Then for Lemon and Cronies being able to secure the #1 overall seed, right?
Yeah, he's going for Death Knight now, which is a good call. Get another square out of this, as well as got your Logor Magnus set up as well. Like, it's a good play. These are good plays.
Yeah, and ASIM here is going for Romana, so we will go full screen with him here. I will say so far, I feel like the difference in this game is just everyone's getting squares, right? But
yeah.
I feel like Lemon and Cronies are doing a better job of, they're not directly sniping, but just taking a bit more of the 50-50 kind of contestable squares, while ASIM and Nexus are going for squares that are not really going to be contested at this time, right? In the long run, we'll see how it works out, of course, because we have a lot of bingo left to play. But I do feel like Lemon and Cronies are just edging slightly ahead with a bit better square selection here.
Well, with the Malekith kill, this will give Nexus DLC.
Yes,
so
it will.
He can do Magnus. Yeah, Magnus and Logor. He can do that square, but it depends on how fast he can get that kill compared to Death Knight.
And Cronies is in a very nice position here as well, as he's been, kind of quietly prepping some stuff. He's been working on Lord bosses. He's been working on Onyx Lords. Obviously got that Hero's Grave there. And he's pretty shortly about to kind of reap the rewards of his priority here.
He's got it on ritual pots as well.
Yeah. As there goes Ramina saying to the button, we tie this game up at 6-6. And we will go to an endgame that will be quite explosive here. We're going to see Malekith in just a second. But before we have, I just do want to say, if you guys are enjoying the action today and you're like, holy shit, this bingo shit's kind of dope, I want to try it out, or I want to be more involved in the community, join in the Team Ignite. We would love to have you there. We do all sorts of competitive stuff. We have coaches to help you get into this, and we have leagues for players of all skill levels. This is the top division, but we have rookie leagues as well, and we are going to be running a new season in January. That'll be DLC singles for experienced players and base game singles for the rookies as always. But we will go full screen with Nexus here for Malekith. And actually, we're going to go ahead and bring it up to the dual screen as Lemon's also in on the Death Knight. So we'll put Nexus is moved to the top left, Lemon top right.
There are two big fights right here. Massive fights.
Meanwhile, Cronus is working on the Onyx Alabaster Lords, and actually a pretty heads-up play for a block. They're sending Asim to go do ritual pots, I believe.
Yes, that's. I was wondering why he was going to Inner Aeonia. That makes sense now. That why he's doing that. I'm feeling that Nexus probably should go Logre Magnus after this. Because that line, that first column, it's scary.
Yeah. No, you know what? I think I don't know if he goes Logre Magnus. Well, no, they're pressuring the first column.
That's
yeah.
That's what I mean,
yeah. Well, because he could go Logre Magnus, but also he could consider going Melania. Because it's a god boss as well. Yeah. This could be a bit of a Logre Magnus race between Nexus and Lemon here. Lemon gets through the Death Knight. Nexus almost done with Malekith. God, he has to be he had to be at like 7. He has to be. Poise is going to reset, but he had to be so close to a stance break there. Malekith only has 80 poise or 80 stance, but the reset threshold is quite low.
Whiffs.
Yeah,
the whiffs really hit. Oh my god, he's got like a sliver of health left.
And now Lemon's going Logre Magnus.
Yes.
Very clean Malekith, but it was just a few whiffs, and that could be the difference if it does end up being a Logre Magnus race here. Cronus is going to go ahead and finish up Onyx Alabaster Lords. That's why he's going back to the first step in order to kill the Onyx Alabaster Lord that's just behind the back entrance, just behind the back entrance to Surrender Graveyard.
Yeah, so it looks like Varia is going to go down for Nexus.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, he's doing God bosses. Interesting.
They might not realize that they might be miscalculating here a little bit, exactly where Lemon is. I mean, traditionally, against most players in the DLC, I would be pretty surprised to see like Lemon just completely sack Shadowkeep, right? But that's what he did. And as a result, instead of getting Shadowkeep access, and they are probably operating under the assumption that Lemon got sniped at some point, right? Instead, no, he went and got Altus access.
Yes.
We do see the
so now they have so much. He has got so much access now that he has access to this. He has castle bosses access compared to everybody else as well at this point.
Yeah, I do think that Asim and Lemon and Cronus have a little bit of a lead here, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to these big fights. It's going to come down to Bale and Melania, right? Mistakes there will make the difference, like in this game. And we see Cronus immediately going for it. Meanwhile, Lemon does I think that's the first death for either player on Team Budget Hitless is Lemon just with a little parkour issue. The question is, did he grab the Grace? If he did grab the Grace, it's no big deal whatsoever. If he did not,
I think he did grab the Grace.
Okay, he did. So that's a very minor error. And we do see Cronies making his way to Melania. You do not have to kill Loretta for this. You have, once you get the first Grace in the Hallowed Tree, the Grace in Alpha, whatever it's called, right after the Erdtree Avatar unlocks. So still a bit of a run there for Melania, but he does not need it. And also, I want to highlight Cronies' resourcefulness here, noticing that he has a dagger with Quick Step, so going to go ahead and use that Quick Step to get through the Lake of Rot. We highlighted the resourcefulness of Rambler and Helios earlier in the first game, so I want to make sure to give Cronies his flowers as well, because like these little pieces of tech, I know it's like so minor, but you guys see how close this game is. If it comes down to a few second snipe, this matters.
Hey, do I see a Logart Magnus into Furnace Golem?
Maybe
for Lemon.
There goes Ritual Pots there for ASIM. The other thing too is Lemon does not have south access either. Like Lemon's access in the DLC is very limited, so it could be Furnace Golem or it could just be preparation for Bale there. Because yeah, we are fully in a square counting game here. All bingo lines are blocked, so the first team to claim 5 squares, get to that 13, will be the winner. And if it is Lemon and Cronies, they will claim the #1 overall seed and finish out a dominant regular season, lost their first game and then won 8 in a row. And then if it is Nexus and ASIM, this is a statement win for them, and vibes will have to be immaculate going into their final game of the season, winner take all.
He is going Furnace Golem. I've had a feeling it's going to be Furnace Golem into... I was gonna go Logar into Furnace Golem or Furnace Golem into Logar, because he can also go into Belrat and grab that, and then Bale really isn't that big of a square.
Yeah,
at that point.
And
right?
I think it's the information game, right? Like, you know, sometimes players pivot, and it's like, okay, why did they pivot? It's because they only get information on the board once their opponents mark it, right? In this case, ASIM marks Ritual Pots, and Lemon says, okay, I should be clear. Right, I know he already went all the way to Romina, right? He's done a lot of running. It's very unlikely that he already has Altus access, so I'm clear to go ahead and go to this Furnace Golem and then finish up Logart Magnus. But all eyes need to be on Cronies here as the Rot Mommy herself has entered the fray. Cronies going up against Melania, Blade of Mikola.
Huge.
Cronies gets hit twice, uncharacteristic. Changes name.
I mean, they are budget hitless. They're not actual hitless.
This is true. This is true.
Bad RNG for Lemon. This would be very, very big for Cronies. Yeah, after his battle stance break, yeah, stance breaks are great. As long as he doesn't use his physic flask, right, or his physic thing for second phase, he should be fine, right?
Yes, he should be fine. Sorry, we just had to update Cronies' nameplate there really quickly. As Waterfall comes out here. To be fair, he didn't get his full warm-up in. He woke up late and he asked me beforehand if he could fight Melania. I said, brother, we're already late. Granted, there was a whole Clash Royale game before this, so there goes the Furnace Golem down for Lemon. Very smart by Cronies not taking the riposte there in order to make sure he goes cleanly into phase 2. We have a 9-8 game with Tank and Top, or Budget Hitless in the lead.
Tank and Top. Yeah, you get a chance to game. He got it. He's getting his chance at the game. This is massive. And honestly, this is going to be big for Lemon because if he gets Logar here, because I'm guessing Asim is going to go for Magnus at this point since he's in Altus. There's nothing in Altus that he can really do now. So this was kind of a waste of time in a way to get to Altus.
Yeah. And I want to say here, I think I do want to give a lot of credit to Asim and Nexus because I think there have been a couple games this season. It's hard to quantify like how well their opponent, like, you know, everyone plays the same schedule, but obviously sometimes people play better on the day or worse on the day, right? I feel like they have just been running into like the best versions of teams every single time, right? And they're playing incredibly well, but in a lot of their losses, and if they do go down here, it would be the same story. Down. Huge job by Cronies there. Great Melania kill. He still did get hit though, so the nameplate stays. But yeah, like I feel like they've just been consistently running into the best versions of teams because Asim and Nexus have played a beautiful game today. It's very rare that you see these types of games where all four players play so goddamn well. And you know, losing in that fashion is like, it sucks, but it's also like both teams deserve to win this game based on how they're playing, right? But there can only be one.
There could only be one. Now he's going for Moog, Lord of Blood.
Yeah, as his final Lord boss.
For the last Lord boss.
And Lemon is prepping Bale.
Which is interesting because he's got castle bosses on lock.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he doesn't just go Leonine. Lemon and Cronies have just played this game so well. Like from a tactical standpoint, they just played this game so well. And I think really the difference was that, just square selection. Asim and Nexus just went for lower value squares. They played their ass off today, but going for slightly lower value squares. While Asim and Nexus just taking away a little bit of synergy that other players were working on, right? The Liurnia bosses going for a little bit more aggressive, going for faster squares. And the biggest thing, kind of the story of the match, I think, was the Shadow Keep bait, right? Lemon just sacked those two squares in Hippos and Romina, and Asim gobbled them up, right? But instead, Lemon was able to do squares that were being more hotly contested, right?
Yeah, and I don't like, man, do it. See, the thing is, like, the one in Bellerat, the tree spear in Bellerat, it's a long ass square.
Yeah.
Right? You have to get into Bellerat, you have to go grab the key, and then you have to come back. And that's just, it's a long square of just traversal. And so this gives time to Lemon to get into the Bale. Like, I think he just needs to kill ADM. And then he goes and does castle bosses.
And Cronies here going into Moog, Lord of Blood. We need to go.
Here we go.
Here we need to put back the hitless question mark, as we will see whether or not he is hitless on this fight.
Nihil doesn't count. Nihil
you know what?
If you're a good enough player, you can dodge Nihil. Okay.
Yeah, truly. Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah. Dude, Gino would have dodged Nihil, bro. Gino would have dodged Nihil.
Gino where? You know?
Yeah. All right, Nihil comes out. Obviously, we're memeing. This is
we're
guaranteed hit. Yeah. Even if you have Nihil tier, actually, you still get hit a little bit.
You take damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still take a little bit of damage. Yeah, I guess double prepping is not a bad thing, right? For Lemon, double prep Bale into castle bosses.
Yeah.
I think it's fine to do.
I mean, in a way, though, Bale is just the safest square on the board, right? Like, ASIM is not going to push that. It's just so long.
Exactly. He doesn't have ADM dead yet either, so...
Oh, no, ASIM does have ADM dead.
No, I think he just grabbed the Grace inside the cave.
Okay.
I don't think he actually killed him.
Okay, my apologies. Yeah, I want to say I'm almost certain he does.
Oh, I didn't see him. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did hippos. Yeah, he did hippos.
And Crony's got hit there. The title must be updated yet again.
You're correct, Trap. Must be good. Oh,
and he goes down.
Oh, and he goes down.
He goes down. I do want to let you guys know I did make one that was hitless exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark to update to that too if he did do it hitless. But Cronies does go down there, unfortunately. This does buy a little bit more time here, but I just don't know that it'll be enough because Lord Bosses is not really being contested much.
Lord Boss not being contested at all. Why grab that Grace, Lemon? That Grace doesn't really do much for you.
Probably autopilot.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
I have to curse the team that's winning. These are the rules. I have no favorites, just the team that I think is losing at the current moment because I like close games.
Close games are the best games, you know what I mean? You can do Setasax later, I guess.
Yeah, it's a tree boss,
does Setasax drop a Dragon Heart?
No.
No, right? It just drops the 25 and 10 stone?
Yes.
Fake dragon, you ask me.
There goes the Tree Spirit and Bellarat for ASIM. I mean, Nexus going into getting capital access doesn't make sense because Godfrey is both a God boss and a Lord boss. He'll also finish up tree bosses here. I mean, this game is going to move.
Lemon is doing Bale.
Lemon is doing Bale. So that means that if Cronies is, we're going to go ahead to the quad screen here. If Cronies is able to finish up the Moglord of Blood, that will be 11 or 12, sorry. And then we will go full screen with Lemon as he goes for Bale. That being said, though, ASIM also making his way there.
Oh, and Cronies dies again.
And Cronies dies again. We're going to go full screen with Lemon for the Bale. Oh! Curse you! Oh, he fucking died. All right, we'll have to.
He died. I was gonna say he died. Guys, I feel like they're playing a little bit with their food. Just finish your castle bosses and just be done with it, man.
Oh, he's going again. He's going again. I gotta do it. One more time. One time for the one time. Oh. Oh. Curse you, Bale. I hereby vow you will rue this day. Behold, a true drake warrior. And I, Egon, your fears made flesh. On the scales you might be, foul dragon, but I will riddle with holes your rotten hide. With a hail of harpoons, with every last drop of my beer.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Did I peak as much there? I changed my mic settings so I didn't peak quite as much. And I will say here, so Nexus is gonna get God bosses. You know, they still have a clear run at castle bosses, lord bosses, and Bale, right?
That's the thing, right? I don't know why they're playing with food like this. Like, they could just finish the game.
Yeah, because if Lemon dies to Bale again and Asen snipes this, there goes the God bosses.
And now Nexus is working on castle bosses.
Yeah, let's go full screen with Cronies here as he tries to finish out Lord bosses. We'll check back in with Lemon and Asim in a second. Because, yeah, this is an 11-11 game. Nexus only at 1 castle boss, though. He has to do 2 more. Asim has now entered the Bale fight.
And Asim's damage is going to be so much better.
There goes Lord bosses down. So that is the 3rd and final one. We're going to go full screen here with Asim and Lemon for this Bale race. No, damage should be equal. They have the same weapon, both plus 24. I guess Asim's plus 25. Oh, Scadu? Yeah, I mean, Asim's damage is slightly better, but it's not enough to make up this lead. He would need to just have a textbook fight here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Lemon has fully committed himself now. He has to get Bale. Like, he has to have it.
Yeah, because I don't think Cronies has enough to get castle bosses anymore.
No.
At this point.
And I mean, unless Lemon dies here immediately, right? Nexus is already in on Nile. He almost has the summons down, right? And then they'll be even. And Asim is definitely catching on damage here. Still a lot of work to be done. The big fire attack comes out for Lemon there. Gets the first dodge. Very clean.
I think Lemon just needs 1 stance break and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I think he's lost his posture damage from before.
Here comes the big fire attack for Asim. Asim gets clocked there. Can he recover?
Oh, and he goes down.
Oh, shit. Okay. So now all eyes will be on Lemon as this is for the game. He's no longer contested. I can't tell how many flasks Lemon has left because he has them equipped to his pouch. If he does heal, I'll let you guys know. Yeah, it's hard to say if that death necessarily mattered or not if Lemon gets through this cleanly, right? Like it very well could have. We'll never know if it was if Asim could have gotten him, but very well could have mattered.
Big stagger.
And riposte, only 5% left here.
Oh, big headshot.
Lemon just needs 1 more clean hit on the head.
1 more.
And he gets it, and that'll do it. GG's. What a finish to that game, but that will do it. Budget Hitless get the win, and they move to 8-1 on the season. In cinematic fashion, they secure the #1 overall seed and will be the team to beat going into playoffs. A great win for them in a fantastic game. It was a great showing as well for Tower Princesses in a game that ultimately didn't matter, right? Obviously, they still would have wanted to win, but they played so well today and need to be feeling good going into the playoffs or going into their playoff game.
Yes.
But yeah, that was an absolutely fantastic game here today and a pleasure to commentate. We'll go ahead and go to the post-match screen. GG's.
GG's.
Music. All right. Let me just send a message to Asim and Nexus really quick. All right, and let's go ahead and pull in our winners here, Lemon and Cronies. GG's, Lemon and Cronies. GG's, welcome in. Congratulations on the win there.
GG's.
A game that was really close and tense throughout. You guys were able to pull away with just a little bit better square selection, but then at the end there, it got very, very close. Asim was
I
going
saw that
for,
little hesitation,
Yeah.
Lemon, to go to Castle Bosses. I saw that little hesitation after you died.
Dude, Cronus really wanted me to go. This guy's fucking freaking out on Moog. He's like, go Castle Boss. I'm not getting this.
Welcome in,
Yeah.
Nexus. Welcome in.
Jeez, that was a fun match.
Yeah, that was a
It
hell of a
was.
game. I mean,
GG's.
you guys,
Yeah, that was close.
everyone played.
That was a lot closer than it felt like it was. That felt not close at all, and then it became close.
Well,
That was a
it
good
got
game.
it's because Lemon had one more Castle Boss left,
Yeah, that's what we thought, and he went bail.
and he went bail.
Yeah. Yeah, we knew he would.
Yeah, and it was really
Yeah.
close. Obviously, yeah, the Bale, Asim did die there at the end. It's hard to say whether or not it would have mattered. Lemon
Yeah.
was ahead, but Asim was catching, right?
Mm.
So it's hard to say. I will say the end of Lemon's fight was super clean. Like the last 30%, Lemon
Go
got a
Lemon.
big stagger, and you know, it just kind of
Hell
went.
yeah.
It kind of melted down there. But yeah, I mean, it was really all 4 players just played incredibly well today. And
Thank you.
you know, I
That was
think
a fun match.
everyone should be very proud of themselves, right? You know, obviously for
Any
starting with-
movers? I'm
I
sorry.
DM'd you.
GG's.
I don't know if I can move you guys.
Well, I
here.
didn't know if you were. I DM'd you. I didn't know if you were.
Yeah, who thought we were upset?
I didn't know if you were.
No,
on
bro, I was
top at
locked
all.
in.
Okay, I see. But I do want to start here with our winners, Lemon and Cronies. Obviously, you guys have been battle tested, particularly the last few games have been very tight. But you guys have found a way to win every single time. You moved to 8-1 and secure the #1 overall seed going into the playoffs. How does that feel, boys?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was aiming for 3rd in the whole event. So far, it's exceeding expectation. And still aiming for 3rd though.
No, I remember that.
Jeez.
I mean, they can still, get 3rd place in the whole thing. That could still happen.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what I'm sure.
Yeah.
Cronies, any words from you?
Not really. I feel pretty good. I feel like I played this match pretty well. I think I definitely made some mistakes, but I feel like the last 2 or 3 matches I made some bigger mistakes. So time to stop playing League, I guess, and
I mean,
actually practice or something.
I think you played
Dude,
pretty
who does that, bro?
perfectly.
I'm playing Pokemon, man.
I think you played pretty perfectly with the
Yeah.
exception of the Moog at the end, right?
Yeah,
You can only
the first
catch
one
me-
just messed up, and then the second one, Lemon talked to me the whole time, and I was just laughing
That's
and
good.
trolling.
Nice.
It was
Hell yeah,
such a
bro.
bad fight.
I will say we made we didn't get to see it, but we made an update on the commentary because your name is Hitless ?
Oh.
I now have got hit and Hitless ! Depending on how the fights
Thank
went.
you.
There we go.
I
Yeah.
like it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, big win for you guys, and major congratulations on securing the #1 overall seed. Also, Cronies Rambler wants to thank you for making him feel better about getting hit on Moog earlier today.
It wasn't intentional. Rambler's he's so much better. I could never achieve his greatness.
Yeah.
They call him the Ramble Goat.
Well,
Not a
just
ramble.
Exactly.
do you guys, and obviously, for the Tower Princesses, a game where like everyone just played so well, like we just kind of knew it was going to be close and come down to the end. I think a few square selection decisions in the mid game were what allowed Cronies and Lemon to pull ahead there.
I agree.
But
Me too.
then, you guys were able to reel it back, and it was a super, super close game at the end. Obviously, this is a game that didn't really matter for you guys in terms of playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Because you guys
Yeah,
have
it's more of a
the-
friendly.
the
fun.
Super Bowl, right? You guys versus Expedition 25 in the final match of
That's
the
the
season.
big one. That's the
Yeah,
big
Yeah,
one.
thanks for that, buddy.
You're welcome.
It's
You're
okay, they're
welcome.
free low. No kizzy. You heard me, Thomas.
All right, I was gonna ask
Just
how
gotta
you
give
feel.
the fans what they want. Gotta
was-
give the fans what they want.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, you guys were always scheduled to play week 8. That was not intentional, but it actually just worked out because also that's the only Nexus said he had to be in the last slot on Sunday. So
That's true.
yeah, that's kind of how the cookie crumbled on that. But yeah, any other words for you guys going into that one other than their free low, no kizzy?
No kizzy.
yeah. Who needs practice when you can crash your car?
Dude,
That's
I'm
all
about
I
to
have to
get.
say.
I'm about to become the Pokemon champion, bro. You think I got time?
All right.
About to be
Well,
a
you-
celebrity around these
No,
parts.
I'm joking.
Have you beat the Elite Four yet?
I tried last night and they wiped my shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm coming back stronger though. I'll be back.
I do want to say on a more serious note, Lemon, you
Yeah.
played so well this game. I really
Yeah,
got to
Lemon
give
played
it.
fucking
Hey.
amazing.
I really got to give it to you. You just held Prio so well. I was thoroughly confused about what you guys were wanting to do, and I think you guys knew you effectively forced somebody into a shitty block on row 3. I don't think that was ever really a threat for you guys.
That
But
was a really good play.
it was
feel like
just a really
The
intense
plan-
match mentally.
Yeah, the plan I think
me.
Lemon and Cronies have for some of these games is try to get their DLC and then go back to base game and try to get as many squares. And try because like he sacked pretty much Romina and Hippos, right? So as long as he got enough DLC squares, then come back to base game.
Yeah, I kind of just mismanaged my Shura math on that one, is the best way I can put that. Where I was like trying to catch him stealing some stuff from me, but obviously I didn't catch him in the right things because instead of ritual pots, I was going to try to go Altus, but Nexus was busy with Spirit Caller Snails, and we kind of wanted a block on row 3, and I was like, I guess I could go ritual pots now. It'll kind of take away from some of my tempo, but I didn't see that as much of a problem as I maybe should have. And also I realized just how much map I sacked on Altus with that. But yeah.
I had moved to block with Logar Magnus after Liurnia boss or something.
Yeah, I think
wow.
like after you marked that, I was like, I
went
probably did
early
Makara's
because
last.
Nexus was quiet, and I saw Spirit Color God Boss on the same line as the square that he already had, which
Yeah.
is a God Boss. So I was like, "Fuck,
Yep.
I'm going."
That was really smart because
Okay.
at the end there we kind of
Yeah.
just pushed that column. Like I had fucking full prep tree bosses and god bosses, and then
Yeah.
Magnus, which was unfortunate.
I didn't even kill one of them. Like I just grabbed fingers from Vare.
Yeah,
Dead body.
I could have lost it because I was tracking you the whole time, but once he marked Malekith, I realized I could have lost it. So my Furnace Golem was me griefing, but I'm glad it worked.
It was a good greed because like
All right, team, we should probably.
Yeah. You're good, boys. You're good. Thank you so much for playing. It was a hell of a match, Lemon and Cronies. We will see you again in the playoffs, in the semifinals.
Yeah, in 3 weeks.
Yep. Oh my god.
Well, you have
Lots
2
of
weekends
time
off.
to practice.
Well, one of them is
Who
because
needs
of your decision,
practice?
and the other one is because you got to buy. So it is what it is. But hey, you guys have dealt with scheduling issues. The scheduling issues is your power, right? Clearly. But we will take a short break here. I want to give a massive
Nice
thank
one.
you to all the players. Love you guys all. Thank you guys all for
Yes.
playing. Harv, thank you so much for
Yes.
joining me today for the first 2 games. It was a pleasure to
Thank
have
you,
you
Harv.
on. And then we will be right back with the next 2 games of the day, and I will be joined by Sci-Fi. So we will see you all very soon.
Hell yeah.